Man, we've got to recap some of the recent videos that I've done, specifically the last 3. We've gotten some spot-on predictions. Last Saturday, I gave you guys the prediction that Bitcoin over Memorial Day weekend had a very strong chance of popping up to $28, which is the top of the channel that I've drawn and shown over multiple videos over the last month. And over the next 24 hours, that's exactly what it did, which was awesome. It shot up exactly to 28,500. And I also said on that video that if we got to break back above that channel, that would be our confirmation that it will go to 34K. So that's what we're watching next. We hit the top of the channel, we pulled back a little bit, which I think is a buy zone, because I do think that this move up to 28 was the confirmation that I was looking for the bigger move that I think is about to happen. So little pullback now, next leg up coming soon. Of course, there's absolutely no guarantee of that. We'll have to see what it does. If it broke down beneath the pullback of the last candle, then that's where you stop loss out and you see what's going to happen next. Nobody's got a crystal ball. Let's dive into Tesla. Now, you know that we started the trade at $153 and the end goal always was 193. But when we got back up there and we began to vacillate in that region and we broke out, but then we came back below, I did a video and I said, guys, it's hard, but I'm gonna hold because I think we're gonna break out above the channel. That was a super hard decision to make because if I were just gonna go by the basic technicals, we would have hit our target and it would have been time to take profits. But I had a gut feeling that Tesla was gonna remain strong. The confirmation breakout above the channel likely means that we're going to at least 215 with the possibility of 233 still being on the table right now. Got to watch it very carefully. And then yesterday, I did a comprehensive video on the AI stock C3 AI. And I said, guys, this thing is going to take off Tuesday. It's going to hit my target price of $41. And that's exactly what it did. We had a run up to $41 and around 50 cents. And now it's pulled back a little bit, but we still have room up on this. And I was talking to Larry Jones this morning, and we were chatting about C3 AI, and I made this point to him. If these guys simply just don't utterly screw up these earnings, this thing could pop to $50. I do think that it's very lofty. They've got tons of fundamental problems, but they're the right company at the right time. And so if they did decently, if they just didn't do terribly, if they just did decently with these earnings, I think we'll get a bigger pop up to the next level. Will be very interesting to see. I am going to take some profits going into close. I made a ton of money already on calls and on the shares, so I'm going to hedge my bet. I'm going to take a little bit of profits, but I'm definitely going to hold some over into Wednesday when they report earnings to see what happens next. There's just more opportunity to the upside with AI. We just have to accept that. And there's a ton of companies that are super interesting to talk about. I'm going to dive into 2 big tech companies that I think are going to be absolute winners. These 2 are 2 that I think might hit their all-time highs in 2023. That's why I've separated them. I'm going to talk to you about them today. But I would love to have made a video about CRM. These guys, Salesforce. I think it's an AI play. I think it's going to be bullish. Keep an eye on that. I'm in CRM. Don't have time to break it down because of what I'm going to cover today, but there's stocks that are going to be firing off this week. I think CRM might be one of them. There's definitely risks looming over the market. I covered the debt ceiling yesterday. It's not been finalized. Anything can happen between now and around June 5th to the 9th, where everything should come to a head. So we don't know whether we're just going to push up into a firestorm of selling. We just don't know. So you got to take cautions. You don't want to be all in on one play. You don't want to be too bearish or too bullish. I've been saying for months that we're going to behave like buffaloes. We're going to be selective. We're going to graze on opportunities. That's how I've been doing it. And the best place to be grazing has been the AI stocks. These have captivated Wall Street and they're simply pushing higher. All right. This is the Stocks with Josh show. As always, I want to thank you guys for hitting the like. I want to thank you guys for being such a great community. I enjoyed chatting with everybody in the moomoo chat group this morning. The New York event that I've got scheduled for June 7th was a huge success. I got some feedback from those who are managing the database and said that it completely filled up within an hour. And I was also told that they had not sent out the confirmations of emails telling people whether or not they have got a ticket. I believe that's going to happen in the next 24 hours, so keep an eye on your email to make sure that you get the notification of whether you are able to attend. It's going to be an incredible event. I hope to see you guys there. All right, today I'm going to give you guys 2 stocks that I believe Wall Street is going to load up on. And after Apple, if this bull rally continues, I believe that these are the 2 that are most likely to hit all-time highs in 2023. Those 2 are Google and Microsoft. They're just too well positioned to take advantage of the AI move. And the institutional investment money with so much cash sitting on the sidelines are going to choose these 2 companies to push up. And they're just not going to stop. They're going to probably continue to rise. I'm going to get into the technicals on both, and I think you're going to find potential areas for re-entry. You're going to find potential areas where they're going to be a resistance and an ideal area to take profit. If you're long, I'm just going to tell you right now at the start of the video, if you're long Google and Microsoft and you're just in it and you don't have any more money to buy and you're going to hold it for the next couple of years, I think you're going to do really, really well with it. I'm going to be giving some support and resistance to give some perspective on where it might go or places where you might be able to get back in. All right, let's start off by looking at Google. Their CCE is $115 billion. This is another company that's doing financially better than the US government with more money, more cash on hand right now than the US government. CCE is a financial term for cash or cash equivalent. These guys are well positioned to position Google in the lead of the AI boom. And they're the ones who are most likely to introduce AI to everyday Americans on a daily basis. Their cloud services, their popular search engine is simply going to allow them to just step right into that #1 AI spot. Now, if we look at the charts, we see that Google fell to $83 in November of 2022. And at that time, I was buying regularly and advising this community on YouTube to be buying. I told everybody accumulation below $92. I locked in profits at $108. Shortly after that, the stock pulled back to $102.63. Now, I sold because of the uncertainty in the markets. I'm affected by it just like all of you. So much FUD I'm processing. I'm thinking, hey, I should lock in some profits. I've made a fair amount of money. But I did tell everybody that if it broke back above 108, that was my spot to jump back in. And it did that. It ran up over 108 into 109, got back in, and I said, guys, with this, we have a confirmation that it's going to hit $127, a near $20 gain, which it did. Now, we've got a lot going on in the news again, and there's a strong temptation to take profits again, and that's why I'm making this video, to share my thoughts with you guys on it. Big investment firms are threatening to sell their bags into strength. But I have begun to see a path for Google to reach its all-time highs, similar to Apple. Now I'm going to show you guys a chart that I gave you that when Google was $120. It showed Google going up to 128, hitting resistance, and then working its way back to 108. That is still very much a possible path for Google. It doesn't mean, though, that Google will go any lower. Now, check out this channel that I've drawn. That would be right around the middle part of the channel, where I could see it backtesting and then working its way back up to 126. Now, that's just one potential path I want to lay on the table. You can see in this chart I gave recently that I said Google would backtest to 122 and then go back up, which it did. If we got buy volume and a close above $126 right now, it would utterly change the narrative and it would confirm to us that Google's going up right now and won't do any more backtesting in the near future. But another scenario could be a backtest of 118 on this longer term channel, which I think could easily happen. And then it could push up from there. There is a path for Google to hit $135 next. I think it would pause around 131. There's a fair amount of resistance there, but ultimately it would go between 135 and 140 in the days ahead. The main takeaway is that the Google trade is going to remain bullish for the remainder of 2023 and ultimately get back to its all-time highs, I believe at this moment, in 2023. Those are big predictions, I know. Another big key is this. If we get back to some of those areas, 118 or even as low as 108, that's where I'm going to be a heavy buyer. I'm not going to doubt it. I'm not going to fear. Those are the levels that I would buy because I think the overall trajectory is ultimately higher in 2023 and in 2024. All right, let's look at my second pick, which is Microsoft. Microsoft is a very interesting company because these guys have a ton to gain with Bing, ChatGPT, as well as an increase in the sale of personal computers geared towards people looking to take advantage of AI technology on a daily basis. Most of us have been using our phones, and we've gotten away from even using laptops on a daily basis, but AI could be a game changer for that scenario. Not to mention gamer upgrades coming down the pipeline with Xbox, a growing section of their business. They've got something to gain on multiple fronts. And like Google, they're currently wealthier than the nation, sitting on a pile of cash, which is super important. This is what separates them from other stocks. This is going to enable them to realize those AI goals. Now let's go into the charts. When Microsoft was $250, I predicted that it would hit 300. It did. It consolidated, and I predicted that we were going to go back up to 315, which it did, and it's been continuously climbing. It seems that Microsoft is running up on momentum, and it will hit at or very near all-time highs, which I'm estimating would be at least around $345 very, very soon. Now, I'm speculating that there could be some cool-off after that, and that Microsoft has the potential of coming all the way back to $300 on such a huge run-up that began largely in January of this year. So up a little bit more, then a drift down to key support, potentially around September. Now, those are just some loose speculations of how the price action might perform. AI could surprise us. The strength could shock us. We could see a move up above all-time highs for Microsoft without that pullback to support. But I think that we're going to hit that near all-time highs on Microsoft. And then I think for some reason it's more likely that it could cool off. I at least would love to see it cool off, come back and hit this upward ascending trend line, and then continue up from there till the end of the year. Quick station break for the moomoo investment app. Today is one of the last days to take advantage of their offer to receive up to 20 free stock. Each stock could be valued at $2,000. There's a link in the top pinned comment to get all of the details as well as the description of the video. But the main reason why I love moomoo is because I've got a great community over there called Stock Josh Fam. So get your free stock. You can start investing, but then come find us and join the daily conversation there that are just great. There's a couple picks I'm getting from my community that I'm thinking of jumping in on. So I'm not the only one giving good information over on the chat group that I host. Come check that out if you can. But in conclusion, let me be crystal clear, and I want you to quote me on this. I know it's a bold prediction. Perhaps I'm feeling more bold with all this bullish movement, but you're definitely missed the bottom on Google and Microsoft stock. There is no path to an $83 Google in the days ahead. Best case scenario, and that's if it happens, maybe 104, maybe 108. And there is no $213 Microsoft ahead. Best case scenario in my eyes would be around 300 or a slight dip beneath, somewhere between 295 and 300. That's the lowest that I can see it going right now. Now, these things could always change, and I would come out and say, hey, something changed, something broke down. But right now, the fundamentals, the technicals are aligning for an upward move till the end of 2023 for both of these companies, and I had to come out and share them with you. I could have talked about a number of stocks. There's tons of opportunities that are firing off right now, but I thought it was important that you guys have these at the top of your watch list because I think they're going to follow through like Apple and possibly hit their all-time highs in 2023. But hey, let's see what happens. You guys know I love you. Thank you for hitting the like. Thanks to all of the new subscribers to joining this community. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're going to see what happens with C3 AI over the next 24 hours. I think it could be exciting. That one's going to be exciting to watch. Anything is possible. We could see a sell-off. We could see a big pop. It's going to tell us a lot about how this AI environment might continue over the next month. We still have the debt ceiling, not entirely resolved, so we got to keep a close eye on that going into the first couple weeks of June. That's about it for today. Peace and blessings, my friends. We'll see you in the next video.